It's Moo Man.
Moo Man?
This is not a dream.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Moo Man. It is Moo Man on the mic.
Yo, what's going on? It is your mans once again, Moo Man on the mic with the Initiative Podcast. And yo, here's where my shout out lies on this particular episode. Shout out to Unilad Tech. And I'll tell you why I'm shouting out Unilad Tech. They did a piece on hackers just around the world. And when multiple hackers have come out, informers have come out, let everybody know, like, yo, hacking is serious business, okay? There's one hacker on there, he was letting everybody know what's going on with the designing of malware, with the designing of ransomware, and how these firewalls have access codes and compromised cryptic code that gets into their entire payroll, that gets into their entire medical, just in their entire business apparatus. And we got a hacker who's just letting us know, like, yo, we gotta do something about this. And it's just what I've been saying. You see what I'm saying? I've been saying this. We got to learn how to write code. And we got to get good at it, man, because these hackers, there's whole communities of them in every country on the planet, as we know. They go back and forth, tit for tat. That's where the real Cold War is at. I keep trying to tell y'all. So shout out to Unilad Tech. Shout out to creating the space for these hackers to come out and let us know what the deal is. Let's get into our headline hero.
Let's go. It's the hero. It's the headline hero.
Okay, our headline hero. Mental Health Awareness Month. Now listen, okay? There was a walk that I was gonna go on here in Miami. It was a walk for mental health awareness, but I got it literally in my mail a day before the actual walk, and I had no time to prepare. So it's like I appreciate the send out to the mental health awareness, thing. Unfortunately, I couldn't make it because you guys got to send it to me like a week out. You know what I mean? I got to prepare for that. You know what I mean? Like, and I appreciate it. I accept it. Appreciate the gesture. That is why Mental Health Awareness Month is one of my favorite months. Not only that, it's the month before June birthday. Shout out to the Gemini. Gemini season is coming. But at the same time, letting everybody know that I'm always thinking about my mental health, always striving to be better. And I hope everyone who's suffering from mental health situations, such as myself, you know what I mean? You'd be surprised how many people suffer from mental health situations. I keep trying to tell y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never ashamed to admit it. You know what I mean? It's empowering. It has empowered me. I suggest it empowers y'all. You know what I mean? And humble y'all with great humility, understanding that there are certain neuronic connections that, if connected the wrong way, could lead to an entirely different life. You see what I'm saying? That's why mental health is so important. But let's get into some headline hunting. Okay, ASAP Rocky has dropped a hint on what he and Rihanna could name their third child. As you know, Rihanna is big pregnant, showing up at the big Met Gala, looking big fine, appearing on Late Night with Seth Meyers. Meyers asked, your first two kids have our names, obviously, and you and Rihanna have our names. He's like, what's going on with number three? Is it going to be an R name? Rocky instantly, of course. They're going to keep a tradition, okay? And I love the R names, you know what I'm saying? He sat down, ASAP sat down with Anna Wintor, you know what I mean? Because ASAP actually co-chaired the Met Gala event of dandyism and black excellence, okay? And Anna Wintor, allowed him to be a co-chair of this event. Now, this is amazing. You see what I'm saying? To me, this is pretty amazing because not too many people can sit co-chair with Anna Wintor. You see what I'm saying? I mean, crazy. Let's do it. Headline hunting. All digital streaming platforms have banned the new song Hail Hitler by Ye. Okay, violation terms of use. All right. Need I say more? Hail Hitler? Are you kidding me? You see what I'm saying? I mean, don't get me wrong though. If I play devil's advocate for half a second, understand that the Nazi symbol is in Tibetan, Indian Tibetan symbol representing the sun and the black sun of deep meditation. Okay, one of the most powerful symbols on the planet. You have to understand, when you reverse one of the most powerful symbols on the planet for the black people, you create a nexus point, a portal, in which you can vex our very sacred symbols. So I advise y'all to research into that if y'all want to talk about that. But no, the song is trash and the video is trash. We're not doing that. Headline hunting. DDG has been streaming, radio interviews everywhere, okay? Same thing with Doechii. Doechii even hopped on the remix of The Weeknd and Playboi Carti hit Timeless and boast about the billions of streams she's been getting, okay? Billions of streams. All right, not only has DDG went to the Way Up with Angela Yee's podcast, The Way Up, shout out to Angela Yee, The Breakfast Club with Charlamagne the God, DJ Envy, and Just Hilarious with Lauren LaRosa popping up, shout out to The Breakfast Club. DDG has been everywhere, and he got candid about opening up about, streaming and how record labels, even small things, record labels are so oblivious to their potential to market and brand in each and every moment that you possibly can to maximize a certain amount of dollars. And it may not even be a certain amount of dollars. Say that you got a certain agenda, a certain mission. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need the views to unlock certain, perks of whatever subscriptions that you may have. And then keep this in mind. You want to talk about streaming changing the face of business forever, then you have to understand that these platforms that are being created to stream on, hosting platforms, those are only going to get bigger. And those are going to get even more sophisticated the more we all learn how to, what, ladies and gentlemen? As I've been saying, write code, understand code, learn how to use code, create, decreate, recreate again with code. But mind you, keep this in mind. The objective is to be the best. You see what I'm saying? Not the most stupid when it comes to writing code, trying to get through back doors in people's wallets. Because mind you, digital prints never go anywhere. And if you don't know an encrypted code and how to cover up your digital print, because I was thinking about that when I was giving my shout out when I seen the Unitech Lab article, you know what I mean? Just going over hacking, and then I hear these headlines, DDG and Doechii, they're both streaming. Kai Cenat, he's probably the biggest performance streamer on the planet. You know what I mean? And I've been saying this in multiple different episodes. This is where the money is. We have complete control over our domain and over our brand and over our platforms if we know how to hook them together. Now, don't get it wrong. The competition is high, which is the reason why maybe a lot of people wouldn't tell you what wallet specifically to use if you want to translate currency from one source to the next in a particular kind of way. And again, this is what gets into the blockchain. The blockchain is important to know. The nodes that are underwritten by underwriting programmers are important to know. And then mind you, there are programmers who know how to program wallets. I'm not even going to hold you. I am very adept in the error code, the troubleshooting of wallets. You see what I'm saying? The creating of API keys, pass keys, secret keys. Encryption is not as recent as y'all may believe. Encryption is actually an art form, a very old art form, which used to involve puzzles of sorts. You see what I'm saying? I mean, when remember written language? You remember that? Cursive? Y'all remember that? You see what I'm saying? Those are kind of encrypted fonts. You see what I'm saying? Encrypted messages that were written, across, multiple different areas of land, water, you know what I'm saying, and air, as we all know. You know what I mean? And like I've been saying 1,001 times, we need to get down with all things programming. Y'all have to understand, creating your own digital currency right now on top of your own token, especially if you're adept in programming, that's going to get you through the door and opportunities that you wouldn't only begin to imagine. And then mind you, if you're a creator, if you are creative, and you open the door, digital spaces for you to actually flood those spaces with creative acumen and the creative savviness that you have as an artist, depending on whoever you are. If you're listening to this right now, I urge you, you know what I'm saying? Start from the basics, move it from the ground up, become a millionaire. You know what I mean? And the only way you're really going to become a millionaire is through the consistency of work, not because you came up with a good idea. No, there's good ideas. There's good ideas that pop up every day. No, it's the consistency of work, the dedication of how you build and grow that work you're doing towards any kind of financial goal. You see what I'm saying? Now's the time. It's been the time to do it for a while, a couple years now. And then with the growth, like I said, with the growth of platforms who have streaming hosting potential, You see what I'm saying? And the best kind of streaming hosting is having programmers to create nodes, to create blockchain spaces, to create GitHub spaces and GitHub forks that grab the attention of other programmers and create another digital currency or different access portals into and out of wallets in the crypto cybernetic universe. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what it's really about. So I urge y'all to really take heed, really understand what's going on when it comes to that crypto, and let's really, really get this money. Let's get into the back of the house headline. Okay, back of the house headline. Media ITE. David Gilmore article says furious residents surround ICE agents trying to arrest man clinging to baby, or arrest mom clinging to baby. An ICE operation spiraled into chaos on a Worcester, Massachusetts street Thursday morning after agents detained a woman clinging to her baby, demanding a warrant. Okay, citizens demand them to prove their identities because they didn't prove their identities. One agent said, "We don't have to show you anything." And this has been happening pretty much around the nation, people. And at first I didn't want to believe it. I mean, but I know that it sounds like a psyop. I know that it sounds like, moles have been embedded into certain factions of deportation hubs and deportation social circles, because that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? The more people, turn into a tribalistic kind of mindset. And this is just the pure frequencies of division. This ain't even got to be anybody particularly upholding it. It's just like when you catch these people entering into these agencies, especially CPS, now you have ICE. The combination of ICE and CPS and the shadiness behind those paperwork dealings, they're taking our kids away. You see what I'm saying? So that's something to be keeping in mind. It's not, don't think of it so much as an organization. Think of it as how much corruption demons are in those organizations that we got to correct and purge out of, just with sheer intelligence. Because it requires intelligence and mastery of social ideology to even deal with other people's kids, or even deal with problem parents that may not get it right the first, second, or third time. But they will get it right. But the social etiquette is all wrong. And not to mention the racism and prejudice that still permeates the minds of social workers at large, no matter what IPO, NGO, or nonprofit that they're working at. You see what I'm saying? Like, they can't help themselves. Their insecurity of mental disorder that is racism and prejudice blinds them. Okay, you have to understand. They also arrested was Ashley Springs, a Worcester School Committee candidate and local resident who police say pushed officers and threw an unknown liquid at them. Okay, again I say, whether they were illegal immigrants, whether this was something more, whether their context has been lost or forgotten or just wasn't, printed. At the end of the day, I've been hearing more incidences like this happen than not. And when I say that I wouldn't look at the organizations, the police, the nonprofit or whatever, I would look at the corruption within the organization, the police, the nonprofit or whatever. Because that corruption is going to continue to happen, and those corruptions are going to continue to grow. The more positive energy and the more unification is shown by our command as the court of public opinion, because we are the court of public opinion. And that's where true justice lies. I promise you, and I promise even more. The more we take control and power back from these organizations that we thought we created with tax dollars to do the right thing, they're doing all the wrong things. And we're going to get more of it. The more we get down, the more we move forward into the future of 2026, the more things are going to come to light. I urge everybody to get on the right side with the Most High. I urge everybody to face and conquer whatever fire that you need to walk on your path to judgment, because no one is getting out of this alive. And that's the real, juiciness behind all of that. Y'all got to make sure that as the feudalistic kind of mentality, frequency, sound, and vibration attempts to break through the higher intelligence of social etiquette, real, true social etiquette that doesn't compete, but only helps and blends together to create even more monetary liquidity, more success, more opportunity for others to become successful. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're about at the top. That's what it's always been about at the top. It's always been about reciprocal agreements. But it's your man's once again, Moo Man on the mic. I want to thank y'all for listening to this episode 28 of the podcast, and I will see you on the next episode. Let's get it.
I don't mean no disrespect, but no way. I can't listen to you, I do this my own way.